If you shall appear, I will give you me, all of me, every part of my soul and body. Give me up hand, me to your hands in my dream of a lover. I will wait and seal myself with the cost of my heart is occupied. You will be intertwined as a soul. For the Lord I said I'm lonely, but my fam makes nothing of it for the effort, only for me to brush it off and smile. Don't look so gloomy, that's what my day have consists of. People for the either judging or write me off as an inconvenience, and I want to dig that foothold. Set time for the rest of the caping of the world that whole being is, and think to a sane person to ask the burden for the self. Sabotage, and maybe there's some doer. Doc for the here's a Xana for the keep your chin up, for the way to be set, and not for the mockery every time for the walking down the street. And I want to leave my house cause it's all over the end of the world, over again, it's just like yesterday's. Something pretentious enough for the something along the path. I lost myself and didn't with the loss of everything to know to be true. Maybe I dropped in the pursuit of other things, and maybe it was taken in but it was snatched. And I have lost my voice for the words, for the stream that flows through. I have lost the ones for the love, for the those through my own actions, for the wanted to know more than to be whole, than to be good for those that I care for those that I don't, for the fundamentally kind, for the hardest challenge of them all. But only if tomorrow, if I knew it. Tomorrow's my last, but what I do, for I'll tell the secrets of what it take me to the grave. And I think I grab those hips and put it close to the whisper. I'll show, see for what I say, for this the reason for not to be recently displayed, for what I do, for the tomorrow was my last. I'll sing that song, drink whiskey under the moon, for the going to the beach to stay up all night, for the sunrise in the ocean front at one time. Stamps to the letter for the shoebox, drop them off for the mailbox. Stamp for the people to call to feel new who you love, and this is the new for the meant to be in life, and not to set them dogs real free. Let that door go open wide, so they can come back for the what, for the back if they choose, and I go to the bar around for all, and say for the goodbyes. I knew for the tomorrow was my last, and I just wanted to spend it with someone special enough and let them know how amazing they were. Life did to me for the spring of my heart, but I have to be guiding them soon for the angel, for the only bubble moon. This is not the brush of life. Get a human is just like an art or a canvas, but something indeed is broken from the start. However, for the off and the off stretch, thousands of those beyond the borders, some for the finding for themselves layer, for the experience of why they are merely to dabble with the life of the folding at the edge, and so one to know the true origins and origins, or colors that express oneself for the creation to create oneself for the creating, for others to figure with the sophisticated to capture the simplicity in depictions of the nature and the abstraction, for the reality to paint that splatter more than the vocal silent insanity. Leave me blank, don't leave me blank, don't leave me blank. So deep to see the universe, and we speak for some days and make it through the night. Sun rays go to fight for the light, for the distance, the cloud, for the sky, for let it flow by, for the like a bird, for the sky, for you can fly, jump into that paradise when I look into those eyes and don't cry. Put me in a trance. Can I have a chance? Can I have this dance to be? In these woodlands, and maybe the heathen, the heathen savage in the fields, and I can find the courage. I would find the willow for the fragrance of the eye fella, for the plague hands and intertwining like the twines of corns, the confined for the mud stick of the combined structures. I too learn, I too yearn for nothing but the adolescence, and this is the stargaze, the sun blaze, Milky Way of the amazing grace it, divide my own passageway to. This is not some promised land, and I didn't
didn't know I had the butterflies, but I knew my net was torn. I tried to catch some for myself, but they wouldn't come to me. So all I had to do was show for the vacant jar, for the painted smile. That wasn't the work, for you would be more ignorant, more for the not for the knowing. For this is the autumn leaves burning from dusk to dawn. Set that scene that cleans the forest. You can have that attention for what the best efforts are. I've gone unnoticed and focused on the past relationships, and I cleared the motive for this. My heart was broken, but I told her to be optimistic and not for everybody in the future. But it's the same intentions, and I had my own visions and on where I thought we could be, for more anticipating for the needs. But before you can speak, here I want to be, for the not playing the high go seek, but the kissing before you go to sleep, but to make sure they're dreaming of me. It's the bitter sense that she doesn't want the same commitment at all, but move on once I see that I have her attention. Love is synchronicity. You can wake up. I stare to hearing from you. The beauty like the sun, always fresh and new, for the love in you in the morning and half awake, but morning at the same time. I know I meant to feel insignificant amongst the stars and the vastness of the world, but we live in, maybe I am, but maybe I'm not, for the maybe my everyone's actions and I for the meaning, for the effect, but maybe it's irresponsible enough to think otherwise. These would be all caught lost in the debt, tormented cries of the rivers of the winds, and echoing the sanctuaries of the world, and carrying the scars of the sins, but first the ignorance and now for the greed. The faceless father, the used to be friend. Before you called that for the witch or a snitch, and you used to be my friend, for you could call me numb or a bum. I used to be the friend for the used to have my back in the day, for the knife in it. Now you used to keep my secrets, and now you spread the secrets of me. You're my friend for the weren't you? It was all the game for the maybe you wanted to gain your fame, but well, I can think it's name enough that you can know, but you should remember you used to be my friend. But what was that anyway? I'm alone, I'm tired. My heart is torn open and I'm bruised, and I'm not within the relationship and not someone that can talk to but know all. Not for the friends when I can realize this isn't my bone. I don't know where else to go. I just left it here and let it figure out itself. What's in that name for the poem for this rose? And it rise again by any other name, but it might be mine, for the tale, for the broken, for the domestic things, and I would still not be pretty, for the blooming and blossom, for the speaking for the ill fate, that blood for the sound, for the bones, and when they crunch, and when I was in what is in the name for the other, for the that, when I am the jealousy, for the control, for the bit too tired, for the here's the heart of the snake, for this the understanding of which we be fine slide between you and me, for the shit that gets space when go to work, the crashing of your car, or maybe the first of your job, for the shifting of what was the build, the shift, the space on time. This is looking the lover to the eyes, for the save, for the breath, for this is the something passing by, for the feeling of the death you loved, and long before, for the love you put away. Shift within it, not about the move around it and feeling the light, for your head to waking up and late, inconsiderate and insolence, for the roots not special enough, for the part, for the understanding the luck you have to be reading this, for the hearing it, for the reading, for the anything, and it's first in places you shift out to the crowds and like you were inside out. I, you, we, every day when we looking inside the tomorrow to life, and tomorrow for it's only gonna do better, for there's such a mystery to find today and everyone, and when you have to look at keeping it alive and is in the present, when the today hasn't done it, trying a different way, but they're only making you sad enough to know that it's history. Or just mine. Is it just my story alone, for the man of solace can find his home treaded with the poison, the form of darkness? As time passes by, should I just skip ahead just for this enough for the problems of the day to become of the past? Skips the time round free enough for the free of this curse. Time for the final to say I figured it out, for the stop waiting. Behind time to skip for the heartache and time to keep looking down for the pain, uncertainty. Just keep skipping ahead for the few years enough when I have kids to book it to finish it. And when I haven't found love for the time passing, I realize that I can't do that. I can't skip ahead and just skip the pain for the heartache and uncertainty, because it's like love enough, a new language. It's love enough, a new language for me. It's love enough, a new language for me. It's complex, but the longer for this to be a doing, defining or ourselves, the longer for the slave, for this to be the ego. Fuel, days, and we stand here together for the asking for change. A new language is stirring up for the compassion and learning, for we're shedding our layers for the future, for that's the yearning for what the word we put down the source and refine our words so that we can dance together in this playground of worlds. A new language is spoken to patch what is broken, but we are breaking the rules and the healing of what's hurting, provoked, revoked, illegal and shamed. We are the ones for not for the here, for the blame for anyone anymore. It's taking so long for this to write this. A song for the we're going in circles and singing along, forgetting the chorus and annoyed, tired. We can't sleep now for the even the hardwired, trigger, contain, toxic, snowflake, fake news. We're just dying to wait to shake what's beneath us and what's the heavens above. The fists in the air for the screaming. We're here to love. A new language is brewing and it's not hard for the breathing. It's hot for the breathing, for the shaking of the heads and saying what you doing. This is not allowed for your being to. This is where not knocking it's loose and shit's going down for the traffic. This is the cages for ages and flipping through the pages and keeping your mistakes, and not time has come for this to be joke with the run. This is the language that is here, for we got what it takes. Evolution is rough and it's gonna take some tough times, so we will keep the talking until love is enough, or worth for the fighting. Not to fight, but to love for it. Then you abused me and said I was this, but the reverse of the order, for knew it was proper for you crossed that border. It was only the eighth for not the word. Ready for the horror, for this is the memories we still prey upon. My thoughts for the consuming of my spirit. I can almost touch those memories for the burning incision, for the cry. Come for the dehydration, the insight. Devoured by the alcohol, perverted for the instinct of a holding for the deflowered me. You took that childhood, but it was that you lost for the manhood. You know for that some of others, you can find that same hell, no matter how rough these ways behave. How damaging my boat can get for the row, for the boat, for the getting to the shore. For I am not for the mere survivor, but a fighter. Not for the drop of the ink of the ocean, but I would never fade in without a fight. Just because the kid for the back in the day, but now that for the not for the liking, for this to be the cotton candy with lies. Duct tape with the tongue, for won't cast a shadow in the fortress your darkness can never enter. Love enough, a new language forming. It's complex, but the longer for this to be a doing, defining or ourselves, the longer for the slave, for this to be the ego fueled days, and we stand here together for the asking for change. A new language is stirring up for the compassion and learning, for the we're shedding our layers for the future, for the that's the yearning, for the what the words we put down as swords and refine our words so that we can dance together in this playground of worlds. A new language is spoken to patch what is broken, what we are breaking the rules and the healing of what's hurting. Provoked, revoked, illegal and shamed, but we are the ones for not for the here, for the blame for anyone anymore. It's taking so long for this to write this, a song for the we're going in circles and singing along, forgetting the chorus and annoyed, tired, but we can't sleep now for the even the hardwire, trigger, contain, toxic, snowflake, fake news. We're just dying awake to shake what's beneath us and what's the heavens above, the fists in the air for the screaming. We're here to love. A new language is brewing and it's not hard for the breathing. It's hot for the breathing, for the shaking of the heads and saying, what are you doing? This is not allowed for your being to. This is where not knocking, it's loose and shit's going down for the traffic. This is the cages for ages and flipping through the pages and keeping your mistakes. And not time has come for this to be joke with the run. This is the language that is here, but we got what it takes. Evolution is rough and it's gonna take some tough times. So will you keep the talking until love is enough? A worth for the fighting. Not to fight, but to love for it. Then you abused me and said I was this, but the reverse of the order, for knew it was proper for you crossed that border. It was only the eighth for not the word. Ready for the horror, for this is the memories we still prey upon. My thoughts for the consuming of my spirit. I can almost touch those memories for the burning incision, for the cry. Come for the dehydration, the insight. Devoured by the alcohol, perverted for the instinct of a holding for the deflowered me. You took that childhood, but it was that you lost for the manhood. You know for that some of others, you can find that same hell, no matter how rough these ways behave. How damaging my boat can get for the row, for the boat, for the getting to the shore. For I am not for the mere survivor, but a fighter. Not for the drop of the ink of the ocean, but I would never fade in without. Love enough, a new language forming. It's complex, but the longer for this to be a doing, defining or ourselves, the longer for the slave, for this to be the ego fueled days, and we stand here together for the asking for change. A new language is stirring up for the compassion and learning, for the we're shedding our layers for the future, for the that's the yearning, for the what the words we put down as swords and refine our words so that we can dance together in this playground of worlds. A new language is spoken to patch what is broken, what we are breaking the rules and the healing of what's hurting. Provoked, revoked, illegal and shamed, but we are the ones for not for the here, for the blame for anyone anymore. It's taking so long for this to write this, a song for the we're going in circles and singing along, forgetting the chorus and annoyed, tired, but we can't sleep now for the even the hardwire, trigger, contain, toxic, snowflake, fake news. We're just dying awake to shake what's beneath us and what's the heavens above, the fists in the air for the screaming. We're here to love. A new language is brewing and it's not hard for the breathing. It's hot for the breathing, for the shaking of the heads and saying, what are you doing? This is not allowed for your being to. This is where not knocking, it's loose and shit's going down down for the try for this, the cages for ages, and flipping through the pages and keeping your mistakes. And not time has come for this to be joke, but the run. This is the language that is here, but we got what it takes. Evolution is rough and it's gonna take some tough times. So we'll keep the talking until love is enough. A worth for the fighting. Not to fight, but to love for it. Then you abused me and said I was this, but the reverse for the order, for knew it was proper for you crossed that border. It was only the 8 for not the wording. Ready for the horror, for this the memories we still prey upon. My thoughts for the consuming in my spirit. I can almost touch those memories for the burning incision, for the cry. Come for the dehydration, the insight. Devoured by the alcohol, perverted for the instinct of a holding for the deflowered me. You took that childhood, but it was that you lost with the manhood. Or know for that some of others you can find that same hell, no matter how rough these ways behave. How damaging my boat can get for the road, for the boat, from the getting to the shore. For I am not for the mere survivor, but a fighter. Not for the drop of the ink of the ocean, but I would never fade in without a fight. Just because they cared for the back in the day, but now that for the not for the liking, for this to be the cotton candy with lies, duct tape with the tongue, for won't cast a shadow in the fortress your darkness can never enter. Smile on your face so deep to see the universe, and we speak for some days and make it through the night. Sun rays go to fight for the light, for the distance, the cloud, for the sky, for let it flow by, for the like a bird, for the sky, for you can fly, jump into that paradise when I look into those eyes and don't cry. Put me in a trance. Can I have a chance? Can I have this dance to be? In these woodlands and maybe the heaven, the heathen savage in the fields, and I can find the courage. I would find the willow for the fragrance of the eye filler, for the plague hands and intertwining like the twines of corns, the confined for the mud stick of the combined structures. I too learn, I too yearn for nothing for the adolescence, and this is the stargaze, the sun glazed Milky Way of the amazing grace, divide my own passageway too. This is not some promised land, and I didn't know I had the butterflies, but I knew my net was torn. I tried to catch some for myself, but they wouldn't come to me. So all I had to do was show for the vacant jar, for the painted smile. That wasn't the work, for you would be more ignorant. More for the not, for the knowing. For this is the autumn leaves burning from dusk to dawn. Set that scene that cleans the forest. You can have that attention for what the best efforts are. I've gone unnoticed and focused on the past relationships and unclear the motive for this. My heart was broken, but I told her to be optimistic and not for everybody in the future, but it's the same intentions. And I had my own visions and on where I thought we could be, for more anticipating for the needs. But before you could speak, here I want to be, for the not playing with the high go seek, but the kissing before you go to sleep, but to make sure that dreaming of me, it's the bitter sense that she doesn't want the same commitment at all. But move on once I see that I have her attention. Love is synchronicity. You can wake up. I stare to hearing from you. The beauty like the sun, always fresh and new, for the love in you in the morning and half awake, but morning at the same time. I know I meant to feel insignificant amongst the stars and the vastness of the world, but we live in, but maybe I am, but maybe I'm not, for the maybe my everyone's actions and I, for the meaning, for the effect, but maybe it's irresponsible enough to think otherwise. These would be all caught lost in the debt. Tormented cries of the rivers of the winds and echo in the sanctuaries of the world, and carrying the scars of the sins, for first the ignorance and now for the greed. The faceless father, the used to be friend. Before you called that for the witch or a snitch, and you used to be my friend, for you can call me numb or a bum. I used to be the friend for the used to have my back in the day, for the knife in it. Now you used to keep my secrets, and now you spread the secrets of me. You're my friend for the weren't you? It was all the game for the maybe you wanted to game the fame, but well, I can think it's lame enough, but you can know, but you should remember you used to be my friend. But what was that anyway? I'm alone, I'm tired. My heart is torn open and I'm a bruise, and I'm not within the relationship and not someone that I can talk to but know all. Not for the friends when I can realize this isn't my poem and I don't know where else to go. I just left it here and left it figure out itself. What's in that name for the poem for this rose? And it will rise again. By any other name would it might be mine. For the tale, for the broken, for the domestic things that I would still not be. Pretty for the blooming and blossom, for the speaking of the ill fate. That blood for the sound, for the bones and when they crunch. And when I was in, what is in the name for the other, for the that. When I am the jealousy, for the control, the bit too tired, for the hears, it's harder for the snake, for this, the understanding of which could be fine slide between you and me, for the shit that gets space when go to work, the crashing of your car. Or maybe the first of your jaw, for the shifting of what was to build the shift in space on time. This is looking the lover through the eyes of the save for the breath, for this is the something passing by, for the feeling of the that you loved and long before, for the love you put away. Shift within it, not but then you around it and feeling the light for your head to waking up and late. Inconsiderate and incidents, for the it's not special enough for the part, for the understanding the luck you have to be reading instead of hearing it, for the reading for the anything, and it's first in places you shift out through the crowds and like you were an inside out. I, you, we, every day when we look inside the tomorrow to like tomorrow for the, it's only going to do better for the such a mystery you can find today and everyone, and when you have to look for the keeping it alive for the isn't the present, or when does today haven't done and turn a different way for the only making you sad enough to know that it's history, or just mine. Is it just my story alone for the man of solace to find his home treading with the poison, the form of darkest? As time passes by, should I just skip ahead just a few for just enough for the problems of the day become of the past? Skips the time around free enough for the free of this curse. The time for the finding to say I figured it out and to stop waiting. Find time to skip for the heartache and time to keep looking down for the pain, uncertainty to just keep skipping ahead for the few years enough when I have kids to book it to finish it. And when I haven't found love for the time passing, I realize that I can't do that. I can't skip ahead and just skip the pain for the heartache and uncertainty because it's like